Well, hey everyone, this is Grace of GB Maltese, and I hope you're doing finer than frogs here. I am almost finished with my custom from Coodeals. Isn't she lovely? This is Young Girl Reading. I'm pretty impressed with how this is coming out. Just a little bit left in this area, just a little bit, not a lot. So I thought I'd work on this a little bit and have a little chat with you at the same time. I've got some very interesting news to tell you about saving you some money. You have seen me show things from Captured by Radiance, and I wanted to tell you about a big money-saving event that's coming up from that company. I'm going to put the link to the store. I'll also put the link to Coodeals if you're interested in getting a custom painting. This is a this is an Old Masters Young Girl Reading, and I think they did a pretty darn good job of it. I love this. I'm loving it. The drills have been really nice. I haven't really had any trash. Been really good. Easy to work on, nice and sticky. So, I've been enjoying working on it. But, let's get back to that big sale that you're going to want to know about. That Captured by Radiance is having. They have, and this is including everything in the shop. Everything. Not just diamond paintings. We got the pens, cover minders, there's all sorts of things in there. In fact, the pen I'm using right now is from Captured by Radiance. It is a wooden pen. I love this. This is one of my favorite pens. It's lightweight. It is so comfortable in my hand. I did put everlasting tips in it because those are the tips that I enjoy using. So you can put any kind of tip in the pen that you want. It comes with the tips, of course. And if you go to their site, you will see all sorts of pens. And let's talk about the diamond paintings. They have probably the shiniest drills of any place I have ever used. I've shown you finished products I have done, and they are unbelievable. If you join their Facebook group, you will get access to when they're going to have sales. Because this sale that I'm going to tell you about is on the Facebook group. I think they've already mentioned it. But I just wanted to tell you, in case you're not joined to their Facebook group, they are going to have a 40% sale off of everything. Everything. It's not buy one, get one 40%. No, 40% straight across the board. I think that is fabulous. And this is going to start on Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022. And it's going to last until November 30th, 2022. So, a whole week. The day before Thanksgiving is when it starts. And it lasts, which is on a Wednesday, and it lasts till the next Wednesday of the next week. So, get over there and start looking at the things you got planned you might want to get. She has new ones going to be coming out, hopefully in maybe January. I'm not sure if she's going to get the order sent out or if she's going to get some brought in. But if you're a member of the Facebook group, you get to vote on what's going to be next. You get to have a say in it. I think I've mentioned that before, but we had a vote, I guess last week or a week before, and we got to vote on our favorite 4. She's going to choose 4 of the ones we looked at that will be coming out next year in 2023. So I'm excited. So like I said, I'll put a link to the store. I'll put a link to the Facebook group, because you really want to keep up with all the things they've got going on. They're always having something interesting happening. So, they're an up-and-coming company. They have their diamond paintings are fabulous to work on. The drills are super shiny. They're the shiniest I think I have ever worked on. I can put a link to my I'll put a link to my last unboxing if you may have missed that. Because I also showed one that I had finished in that unboxing. And you can see just how shiny their drills are. And they are carrying both rounds and squares now. I did a round the first time, and now I've got a square to work on. So, it's going to be exciting. Not sure when I'll get started with the square one. As I'm working on Christmas gifts, I'm doing a lot of crochet gifts. And I also have been doing this diamond painting, but I don't have a diamond painting right now that I'm going to be giving away. I mean, giving as a gift, because I really didn't have any idea what one to get. Most of the ones I've talked with, they wanted something crocheted, because some of the people that that are my friends, they diamond paint also, so they can diamond paint their own thing. So, just think about it. What a great gift giving a diamond painting or a new diamond painting pen would be for a friend of yours that diamond paints. So, remember, 40% off. Black Friday 22 is all caps, is the code. And I'll put that all underneath here in the description. All you have to do is open that up and you'll see it. Black Friday 22. Save 40% off everything in the store. I was flabbergasted when she let us know about this. I'm like, whoa, unbelievable. With the quality of what she has in everything she does. So, anyway, I will stop yabbering on about that. Just wanted to let you know. Okay, I'm going to tell you about a new venture I have started, and I've been doing this for maybe a month. I decided I needed to get out of the house some and do something useful, to help other people. That is something I enjoy doing. So I went to our public library, and that was one thing I always wished I could have been, was a librarian. So I thought, let me go see if I can volunteer doing something at the library. And they told me about a program that they have that works with kids. And I went to talk to the lady who is kind of in charge of that program. And I asked her if she could use some help. And she said, yeah, especially with her toddler group of kids, because that is her biggest group of kids that come out. So that's every Thursday at 10:30 until we're finished. We do songs, we read stories, we do crafts. So it's a lot of fun, and I have so enjoyed working with the kids, and the moms are there. I'm loving it. I've had a couple of funny things happen because weird things seem to follow me around. One of these, this is one thing I love about being around kids. They are totally honest, and they say whatever comes to their mind, which I think is so cool. Just be careful what you say to your children before you send them off to school. Because most of you know, I was a teacher for 34 years, and a lot of that gets shared with us teachers. So, this one little girl. Just so adorable. We were making some pumpkins. This was right before Halloween. We were just making some out of paper. We had painted small pumpkins I think the week before or something. But anyway, we had these strips of paper. And each child got 4 strips of paper. And they were the moms helped them, because we're talking about 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5-year-old kids, okay? So the moms helped them. And so they were to glue them in an X, and some of them are old enough where they can do that themselves. So they glued 2 X's together. Then they put those X's, they turn one of them, so it forms an asterisk looking shape. And then they're going to fold those up to make a pumpkin. But before we got to that part, one of the moms was telling her daughter, "Oh, doesn't that look like a star?" And she said, "No, that looks like an asshole." I'm like, it's like, oh, what? Oh, I could not, excuse me for saying that, but out of the mouths of babes, I had to turn around so they couldn't see me laughing. She was just as serious as she could be. And then the mom said, "Well, it does kind of look like a star too, don't you think?" "No, it looks like and she said it again. And by this time I was thinking, am I going to have to leave the room? She was just so adorable. She is just the smartest little girl. She's so smart. But I got the biggest kick out of that, because like I said, they're going to tell you the truth. Whatever comes to mind, it just comes right on out. So I just laughed. So every week, you never know what's going to happen. It's so funny because the kids are so young. I'll be reading them a story, and sometimes some of them get up and we're walking around. I'm just like, they're having fun. It's okay. 2 and 3-year-olds, you can't just make them sit there, just not moving. But sometimes I'll just say, "Hey, what is this a picture of in the book?" And try to get them refocused if possible, but it's fun. I am enjoying it so much. But yesterday, the lady who's in charge, she's getting married this weekend. So she had asked me if I would substitute for her on this past Thursday. I said, sure. I taught school for 34 years. I'm not afraid to, get up and do everything. That's no problem. So yesterday, I get in there and I'm waiting. I get there early, of course, and we have our craft and everything set out. But we're going to do our story first. But before I even started the story, because I was still waiting for people to get there, and I had some calendars I needed to pass out for the crafts that are going to be coming up. Because next week we're doing 2 on right before Thanksgiving, on Tuesday and Wednesday in the afternoon. So I needed to let them know. And as I was turning to get the calendars to pass out to them, my shoe, the edge of my shoe, somehow caught on the little carpet. It's just like part of the floor has a little carpet and the rest is hard, So my shoe caught on it, and graceful as I am, I just I fell all the way to the floor. Yes, in front of all of them. And I'm just like, I can't believe I did that. You can feel yourself falling, but there's no stopping it. There is no stopping it when you start falling. So, there I go, fall. I'm lying there on the floor, thinking, I gotta get up out of here. And all the mothers are going, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm fine. And I got up, and they said, "Are you sure you're okay?" And when I first got up, I felt a little bit woozy, but that went away after about a second. And I said, "I'm doing just fine." And I just carried on. The kids just kind of sat there. I'm not sure if they just thought I was entertaining them or what. It was just, I gotta laugh. I mean, it's better than crying, right? Because that's not the first time I've ever fallen in front of people. There was a time this was when I was teaching 3rd grade, and I was walking the kids. We were coming back in from lunch, and so we had to go outside the building. We were coming in through the door, and I had boots on. The heel of my boot caught into like the door jamb part, and I could feel myself falling. I had my whole class in a line. You know, I'm walking beside them, and right, I just face planted right there on the floor. Yeah, I kind of caught myself with my hand, and my hand really hurt afterwards. But that was when I was young, you know, a lot younger. And the kids, they were just in shock, and I just told them, I'm okay. You know, they were just kind of, didn't know what to think. But they were so sweet. They just stood there in line, didn't, you know, go crazy or anything. So, yeah. That was another treat. And here's another time that, this is again in 3rd grade. I don't know what is wrong with me sometimes. But I had moved my desks around in the classroom. I always would put them in groups, like groups of 4 or groups of 3, and that was an easy way to, when we were going to do group work. And the kids, they did very well. I was very careful how I seated them. That's the thing you got to be careful of, is the placement of the students. Very important. Anybody who's ever taught school, you know that. Well, anyway, I was sitting there talking to the kids, and I was sitting on top of a desk, you know, just casual, just talking. I don't know what I was talking about. Doesn't matter. That was a long time ago. And I started scooting back on the desk, and I had forgotten that I had moved the desk behind that one to another place. So I fell off backwards off of that desk, and I'm like, oh my God. You know, again, I was much younger. I didn't hurt myself, but I felt like a complete idiot. And the kids are all going, are you okay, Miss Babcock? I'm like, I'm fine. And we all started laughing. I mean, you might as well laugh. That was pretty stupid. Just sitting there, scooting back, you know, just kind of scooting, getting comfy, and then boom, there she is, and there she's not. So I'm real good at entertaining in that fashion, I guess. I don't know. You know, some people are just blessed with that gift, I guess. And what's bad, you know, my name being Grace, and I am probably the most not graceful person that you could imagine. So yeah, you know, way to go, Grace. Of course, the kids didn't know that kind of stuff. You know, they just see me fall, and they want to make sure I'm okay. And then when they see I'm okay, we have a good laugh. Yeah, you might as well laugh about it. But yeah, I've done some crazy things. I just thought of another thing. I'm telling you, sometimes I just wonder where my brain really goes. I'm really not sure at times. I'd gone to the restroom, and I was wearing a skirt, and it was a cold day, so I was wearing I had on black hose that day. And so I went to the restroom and was trying, you know, you don't have a lot of time to spend in there. So I tucked my shirt in and, you know, getting myself all together, and, you know, washed my hands and left the bathroom. I was in a hurry. As soon as I left the bathroom, I'm like, oh my gosh, there is such a cold breeze on my butt. I felt back. I had tucked my darn skirt into my pantyhose. Yeah, nice. I was out there in the hallway before, I felt it. Thank God above. There was nobody in the hallway. All I could think about was, what if my principal had been out in the hall? We had a man principal at that time. He would think, oh my, do we need to keep her around? I got that skirt tucked out as fast as I could. Let me tell you, that never happened again. Because I checked and double-checked myself from that time on. Yeah, don't care how rushed I might be. I didn't usually wear a lot of dresses and skirts. So that might have been one of the reasons, was because of that stupid thing that happened. Have any of you done anything like that? Surely I'm not the only person in the world. I know there's been, we do some crazy things in our life. But that was quite embarrassing. That, I was just thankful. It could have been a lot worse. There could have been people out in that hallway and seeing my predicament. But there wasn't. So, I saved myself from total embarrassment. I just remember looking around real quick down the hall thinking, oh my Lord, please don't let anybody be coming. And they weren't. So, got myself readjusted. I think this was probably, I don't know if it was during my conference time, because that's the only time you have to go to the bathroom, or lunchtime, which again is another time that you can go to the bathroom. I mean, it's a whoosh. Because the bathroom was not real close. I had to go down my hall, another hall, and then go down another hall to get to a bathroom. Because I could have used the kids' bathrooms, and there were times that I did if it was I really had to get in there quick and, get out. But the kids kind of, especially the younger kids, they don't know that you go to the bathroom. I don't think. Most kids think you live at the school. They really do. Because I had a kid ask me one time, Miss Babcock, what do you do up here when everybody's gone? And I had to explain to him, well, honey, I don't live here. I do have a home I go to every day. And they said, oh, I just thought that was priceless. Kids are the best. Those were my 3rd grade kids. And if you see them at the store, it's like, they look at you like, you buy food? Well, yeah, I do eat. So it's really funny. It's kind of comical. Here's something that happened to me when I was teaching junior high. And this was I'm trying to think. This was when I was really young. Because when I first started teaching, I taught in Aldine, which is close to Houston. Well, when I moved to Livingston, I was teaching 3rd grade there. And because I was getting married to Jerry, so I moved here. Well, back here, because that's where I went to high school for 2 years. I was originally from Houston. So, I was in my 20s, okay, when this happened. I had a room full of 8th graders. This was an English class. I think I had probably 33 kids in the class. Yeah, classes can be really big. Having 30 and more kids, it's a lot. Even just having 28 and 29. Just when you get to that number 30, for some reason, it feels like you got just a ton. But the younger the kids, the smaller the classes should be. So I feel so sorry for kids who are having to be in kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade, even 3rd grade, who have big classes because they need so much attention. But let me tell you, when they get to junior high, they need your attention too. I'm not sure if I might even need it more, but yeah, it's rough. So, I gotta get another color here. Getting another color of drill. So, I had all those kids sitting there. And I don't know what it is about me and sitting on top of the desktop. I mean, it's just, when you got a huge room full. So I was just kind of, this was a seat desktop combination, okay? When I taught 3rd grade, it was a separate desk and a separate chair. This was all built together. So I was just kind of sitting on top of that desk and sitting there just talking. And this young lady, I mean, when they get to 8th grade, and they're young men and young women almost. I mean, they are still not quite sure where they fit into the world at that time. But I was so proud of her because she came up to me and told me, "Miss Babcock," into my ear, "you have a slit in the crotch of your pants." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." I did not. You never lose your cool, especially when you're teaching junior high. I just casually stood up. I didn't sit down for the rest of the day because, yeah, you could see my underwear through that. Thank God I had underwear on. I mean, I always wear underwear, but can you imagine? There are some people who don't. I can't imagine doing that, but not me. So anyway, I just had to make it through the rest of the day and just thanking my lucky stars that this young lady was so polite that she didn't just say, "Hey, Miss Babcock, I can see your underwear. You got a hole in the crotch of your pants." Yeah, I still would have tried not to lose my cool, and I was pretty good about it. I'm going to tell you. You learn. And I had a very strict dad, so yeah, he didn't believe in, you were to be seen and not heard, basically, and you don't cry, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I just casually got up and I thanked her later. I said, "Thank you so much. She's so sweet." So yeah, that was another fun moment in the life of Grace as a teacher. There are many more. If I can read. Some of them I think I have just obliterated from my mind, just because some of them are too painful to remember. They're funny now. They're pretty funny. But yeah, and I think that I had the respect of the kids pretty much because I respected the kids. I didn't try to embarrass them in front of the whole class. So you know what? They respect that. And they are just as kind as they can be. In most instances, they will be just as good as gold. Yeah, you do have some that aren't. Oh, But a lot of them have a lot of other things going on, either in their life. They may have a mental handicap or other disability that causes them. Some of them are just, they've had a rough life. They've just had a rough life, haven't been treated good, and they just don't understand how to react in certain situations. That's kind of the way I have to look at it. If you don't, then you're going to drive yourself nuts. Because I did find out that these kids that I've had who would act up in class, a lot of times once I got, I might ask them, "Would you go wait for me out in the hall?" and get the kids started on what they're doing. And then I'd go out and talk with them. And I would ask them, usually the first thing I would say is, "Did I do something to offend you or to hurt you in some way?" And I would say probably 100% of the time, "No, ma'am." And I say, "Well, can you tell me what's going on? Why did you do such and such?" And I would tell them what it was. And sometimes they would tell me, I just had a really bad morning. I had a fight with my mom in the car, or maybe they had a fight with their friend, or they had a teacher who was rude to them in another class. And you know what? I would just tell them, I said, I understand. I said, but could you please try not to take it out on me? I said, it's kind of hard trying to teach with you doing some of that. And you know what? Most of the time, that worked. You've got to have empathy. If you don't have empathy, you have no business teaching school. Also, you've got to have respect. This is for any job. I don't care if your employers or employees, you need to have respect for each other. And if you have a boss who is not respectful, it's hard to be respectful back to them. Oh, I know. I had a principal one time. Oh my gosh, he was a total jerk. But you know what? I was still there when he left. Me and a friend teacher of mine would say, I'm going to outlast him. I'll be here when he's long gone. And that was the case every time. Now, I have had some fabulous principals in the past. They're not all bad. There are some that are irritating because they're just sometimes using your school as a stepping stone, especially with the junior high. A lot of the principals are wanting to move up to the high school principal job because they get paid more. So, like I said, I have had some fabulous principals in the past. I really have. And then you have some that are not so good. And that's for any job. Sometimes your boss, everybody has a bad day. And that is no problem with me. But it's when it's every day. Someone is expecting the impossible out of you. You're like, you might want to rethink this, because I'm going to tell you, principals only have to have taught for 3 years. And all they have to do, they go and get their master's or whatever in leadership, or whatever it is that they want to go into. So they go and get their little diploma or whatever to be a principal. And a lot of them, after a few years, they forget what it's like to actually be in the classroom. So sometimes it's hard for them to relate when you go to talk to them about a problem. But then you have others who have that empathy. And that's one thing. If you're in education, if you are an empathetic person, you're not going to lose it. You're not. And I know that principals have a hard job listening to a lot of complaints. I very seldom ever went to the principal with complaints. Very seldom. You could probably count on one hand. In the 34 years that I taught, no more than two hands that I ever took a kid to the principal. It had to be something really serious, because I just handled it myself. I talked with the kid, I called parents if need be, and I knew I was going to call their parents, and they're going to stand right there next to me and get to talk to them too and explain some things. Now, you have some parents that aren't very willing to want to help you. They'll basically tell you, their school, that's your problem. Yeah, there's not a lot you can do there. You just try to work with the kid as best you can. But all in all, I loved being a teacher. I did. Anyway, I'm going to stop for now because my battery's about to go out. Just want to tell you guys, I love you. I'm going to try to get on here more often. You guys take care. God bless you. And I will talk to you later. Bye.